didn't show up for work today. That's a shocker. Asked me to fill in. As soon as they flew me in, put me up at a junior suite at a Courtyard Inn and paid me in cash, I jumped at the opportunity to help an old friend. That's just the kind of guy I am. Now, truth be told, I wasn't really Skippy, but I am very flattered by the comparison. Anyway, as we celebrate our independence this holiday weekend, I cannot help but think about the brave men and women who are representing the United States every day in Iraq. Now, there's a lot of discussion about the war. A lot of people wonder, should we be staying there under these incredibly difficult circumstances, or should we cut our losses, pack up, and go home? Here's the thing. We can debate for hours on end the validity of why we went to Iraq in the first place, but the truth is, we must stay the course. We can't simply hand the country over to suicide bombers and the other numbnut jagdorks whose real agenda has nothing to do with the best interests of the Iraqi people. Sure, now, we don't have to be an army of occupation, but that's not what we're doing there. If we were occupiers, gas would be 3 cents a gallon, you'd get green stamps, and a commemorative piece of stemware when you leave the gas station. We have to be steadfast, patient. Things will ultimately stabilize. It's the way of the world. To leave now would send Iraq into utter chaos from which it might never recover. We already ruined their day once. Let's not ruin it twice. Ermey served in the Marines as an actor, best known for his role in Full Metal Jacket, and now he's the host of Mail Call on the History Channel. Lee, should we stay or should we go?
Let's rock and roll.
You're hearing all these people talking about exit strategies and trying to get out, and
that's right.
We should be moving. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm saying, Ro, that we need to go in there and we have to be aggressive. We need to rock with this thing. The problem is, I keep hearing exit strategy all the time, and I had to have, that means something kind of like, to me, like surrender, leave before the job is done, quit. No, come on, exit strategy. I called a few generals. There is no such thing as an exit strategy until after the mission is accomplished. Then you start thinking about how you're going to get your tanks out, how you're going to pull back all of your supplies that you've got in there. Generally, with the military, they leave a lot of their supplies in there because it costs a lot more to move C rations back out or MREs back out than it does to actually buy them at home. But there is no such thing as an exit strategy. Now,
Lee, you were in Vietnam. You served in Vietnam. You also have been to Iraq a number of times. What's the biggest difference between the Vietnam-era military and what's going on over there today?
Well, the big difference that I see, Ro, is the simple fact that there's a reason why we lost the war in Vietnam, and that reason would be because the politicians were running the war. There wasn't one of them that was qualified to call the shots, but that's what they were doing. The big deal in Iraq right now, the reason that we're so far ahead of the game, we're winning the war, is the simple fact that our commander-in-chief is allowing the generals, actually the generals, the people who were trained to win wars, run the war. Of course, they're calling the shots. Of course, he's the commander-in-chief, and he's kept informed about everything. If he disagrees with something, they explain it to him, and you know, they get along well together. They're doing a great job over there. So, no problem.
You think the Supreme Court last week screwed this thing up, though, by stopping the military tribunals?
You know what? 6 of one, half dozen the others of those, you know, those people are vicious criminals. They're people that were caught in the battlefield at high port coming to kill our guys. We've turned a few of them loose, and a good percentage of those few that we turned loose and returned to their home country got rifles, came back and tried to kill us some more. I'm sitting here saying, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they could keep those people in Guantanamo Bay or wherever they Gitmo or wherever they want to keep them until the end of the war or until they die. Plain and simple, it doesn't make any difference to me. They're guilty.
But what if this war goes on for 50 years? Can you keep them there? Should the Marine Corps be responsible for those people for that long?
Of course. I think back during World War II, what happened to those prisoners of wars that we had, or the prisoners? Well, we had military tribunals, didn't we? We decided what their fate was to be. That's the way it should be. That when we fought the Japanese, we decided what the fate of the Japanese commanders and the wrongdoers, the violators of the Geneva Convention did back in those days, and we punished them.
All right, before I let you go, Lee, before I let you go, I have to ask you, they made a Barbie doll out of you, didn't they?
That'd be a motivational figure. Ken and Barbie are dolls. Now, how many times I got to tell you people that? Don't make me have to come down on you again, guy. I'm going to come to Chicago, you know, in December. I always come to Chicago. We kick Toys for Tots off together.
Yes, we do. We do.
You don't want me to kick you, do you?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Lee, you're the absolute best. Thank you so much.
Semper Fi, you have a great day. All the best with the show.